Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rusli Hakim bin Ruslin and I am from 81174B. In today's video, I'm gonna talk about anthropogenic threat to corals. Significance of coral reef towards ornamental fishery. Coral reef is home towards various species of marine life including ornamental fish such as lionfish, clownfish, and many more. Coral reef provide shelter for this marine life. Coral reef protect the seashore from eroding. They also provide natural barriers so that the wave will not hit the beach so hard. Coral reef also control the level of O2 and CO2 in the sea. At night, coral reef become the hunting ground for the fish. It is also become the spawning place for fish and also provide the protection for juvenile fish. There are several effects of ornamental fisheries towards the coral reef. When an ornamental fish was caught by divers, it will destroy the coral reef. Reckless and amateur divers will step on the coral reef and thus damaging the coral reef. When using dynamite to catch the fish, the explosion will leave a huge impact towards the coral reef. This method will not only kill other species but also will crack and stress the corals. Using cyanide will usually stun the fish in the coral reef, but it will also kill the corals, polyps, and degrade the habitat. Deep water trawling that use the wake net will also damaging the corals. In shallow water, corals will entangle inside the net and will turn away from their base. There are 6 ways to protect world's remaining coral. The first method is checking the active ingredient inside the sunscreen. Always use ultraviolet protection factor (UPF) and choose sunscreen without chemicals that can harm the marine life. The second method is to practice safe boating. Drop the anchor on sandy area away from the corals or seagrass so that the anchor and chain will not drag them away from their base. The third method is using long-lasting light bulb. Energy-efficient bulb will reduce the greenhouse gas emission that contribute to the climate change. Climate change also kills the corals. The fourth method is to conserve water. The less water we use, the less runoff water and wastewater will be flow into the ocean and damaging the corals. The fifth method is do not touch the corals. When going for diving activity, prohibit yourself from touching the coral because coral is sensitive and fragile creature. The last method is to be marine crusader. Do not throw your trash inside the ocean because it will suffocate the corals. If the coral is suffocating, it cannot functioning normally. The O2 and CO2 level in the sea will not be controlled and it will bring harm to the marine creature. In conclusion, we must stop all the activities that can damage the coral reef. We cannot use cyanide or dynamite to catch the ornamental fish as it will bring permanent damage towards the coral reef. Divers also must have license to dive and is well trained so that he will not leave a huge damage to the coral reef. We also must be careful when using sunscreen during diving or snorkeling activities as some sunscreen contains chemicals that can harm the marine life. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a good day everyone.